And now you want to pull a, what do you call it?
A time heist?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most effective choices made by cinematic characters. This list excludes villains and or anyone else from animated movies. Also, more than a few spoilers. Number 20, Booby trapping the house, Home Alone. Kevin McAllister might be a kid, but he's no slouch when it comes to intelligence.
This is my house. I have to defend it.
His ability to thwart two robbers in Home Alone ranks among the smartest things any child has ever done on film. Using some inventive ideas, the young hero gathers together all of his toys and household supplies to defend himself.
Be a good little fella now and open the door.
Every entrance has been thoroughly rigged in order to slow down Harry and Marv. Injuring the criminals at every turn, these traps give McAllister enough time to escape the house.
You guys give up, or you're thirsty for more?
It's amazing that the burglars survived the onslaught at all, but we're pretty sure they're walking away with a few concussions.
On your troubles will be out of sight.
Number 19, Trapping Dormammu, Doctor Strange. By the end of Doctor Strange, the powerful Dormammu thinks he has the hero in the palm of his hand.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
You've come to die.
Strange uses some of his own trickery to put them in a time loop. Stuck together inside an infinite bubble, the evil entity seems to kill his adversary over and over. He realizes too late that he's under the control of the Time Lord and can escape.
What is that? Illusion.
No, this is real.
The talented doctor takes this as an opportunity to open up new negotiations, but this time, his enemy has no choice but to accept them. It's a clever bit of time manipulation that showcases the brains and abilities of an underestimated superhero.
Never come back. Do it, and I'll break the loop.
Number 18, Capturing the Bus for a Rerun, Speed. With a bus rigged to blow, LAPD officer Jack Traven needs to keep the vehicle above 50 miles per hour or it'll explode. He realizes the whole thing is being watched by the villain, Howard Payne.
He can see you. Just keep looking straight ahead.
In order to buy themselves some privacy, Traven and company figure out a way to have the security feed loop itself.
I want you to make a tape and loop it so that it runs over and over, okay?
This makes it all look like business as usual on the inside. In reality, the police are helping to offload the hostages. The multi-part plan goes off without a hitch, until Payne's keen eye finally discovers the ruse. Through this tightly coordinated operation, the authorities are one step ahead of the antagonist. Number 17, Scientific Method, The Thing.
Tie everybody down real tight.
What for?
For your health.
A mysterious organism descends upon an Antarctic research base, turning the staff against each other. Kurt Russell's R.J. McCready takes control and ties up several suspects that could be infected. Planning to test a sample of everyone's blood, the character manages to figure out the culprit in a methodical way. McCready uses his flamethrower after the creature starts to take over its host.
We'll do you last.
Not every horror hero is this intelligent, making this one from The Thing especially noteworthy for his use of the scientific method. You could argue that it doesn't solve all their problems, but this test does speed up the process of finding the deadly life form. Number 16, Jack Sparrow steals an Aztec coin before fighting Barbossa, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Hoping to lift the curse of the Aztec gold, Captain Barbossa fights for his own mortality against an assorted cast of characters. Captain Jack Sparrow thwarts these plans by sneaking away a coin for himself. Showing off his skills as a thief, the character makes himself immortal and able to trade swords with the demonic Barbossa.
Couldn't resist, mate.
Sparrow's invincibility also distracts the evil pirate long enough for Will Turner to break the curse. This strategy saves the day and reminds everyone that Johnny Depp's anti-hero is reliable after all. Number 15, Lying about Fran's death, Knives Out. Investigating the death of Harlan Thrombey, Detective Benoit Blanc tries to rule out possible suspects, such as nurse Marta Cabrera. The latter character reveals that she can't tell a lie without vomiting.
Dear girl, I'm sorry. I assumed you were speaking figuratively.
While this might seem like a gross detail, it actually comes in handy at the end. Chris Evans' ransom becomes the prime suspect, and a phone call becomes the perfect opportunity for Cabrera to act. She pretends that key witness Fran has survived, leading Evans' grandson to confess everything.
She's okay. She's ready to talk.
He then gets covered in puke, revealing that Ana de Armas' character is lying. The The ploy proves itself to be ingenious and somewhat disgusting, prompting the real killer to expose his true self. Number 14. Setting up 3 layers of dreams. Inception. In Christopher Nolan's trippy thriller, Dom Cobb and his associates must invade a man's dreams in order to plant an idea.
I specialize in a very specific type of security. Subconscious security.
This involves multiple dream levels in order to do it properly. Cobb's complex scheme involves taking Robert Fisher deeper into his subconscious until he's face to face with a version of his own father.
I know you were disappointed. I couldn't be you. No. I was disappointed that you tried.
The touching scene is all a ruse that changes Fisher's mind and makes the cerebral heist complete. Some people find Inception too difficult to understand, but those who stick with it will find this idea to be amongst the smartest of its kind.
You know, the will means that Dad wanted me to be my own man. Not just to live for him.
Number 13. Using the cargo loader to fight the alien queen, Aliens. After surviving the first film, Ellen Ripley finds herself up against another xenomorph. The hero confronts the alien queen in the climax of Aliens. Rather than fighting it with traditional weapons, the protagonist hops in a cargo loader.
Get away from her, you bitch!
This enables Ripley to match the creature's physical strength and size. It also keeps her at arm's length from the monster, avoiding its mouth and other appendages. The resulting battle allows the heroic character to toss the pesky enemy into an airlock. Unfortunately, the characters in the next several sequels didn't take this same strategy to heart. Number 12. Heading back to the Citadel, Mad Max Fury Road. Spending the first half of the movie escaping, Furiosa and Max reach a crossroads with a difficult decision to make.
I suggest we go back the same way we came. Through the canyon.
They're far from home and in desperate need of help. Instead of trekking deeper into the barren desert, the group decides to return to the Citadel. Sometimes going back to the safest place in the wasteland can be the best option.
They're heading for the canyon. They're going back to the Citadel.
Taking the caravan back, the heroes fight their way to the oasis that's now unguarded. It's a tough journey that takes its toll on the characters, but ultimately, they can come back to a place that's full of much-needed supplies. Number 11. Picking cotton out of the chair. Get Out. Following an elaborate scheme, Chris finds himself tied up in the basement of his girlfriend's family home. His sick and twisted host put him in a chair while he awaits surgery. Without anyone knowing, the hero rips cotton out of the seat cushions and stuffs it into his ears. It's both a subtle and low-tech way to gain the upper hand. This allows him to avoid the mind control that the creepy organization tries to use on him. Pretending to be brainwashed, the protagonist waits for Jeremy to return and hits him over the head when he isn't looking. Jordan Peele's great writing makes this smart choice feel even more impactful with its rich symbolism. Number 10. Closing their eyes when the Ark is opened. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Falling into the hands of the Nazis, the Ark of the Covenant seems to be just outside of Indiana Jones's reach once again. However, the villains are nice enough to keep him around for the grand opening. Before it all happens, the archaeologist reminds Marion to shut her eyes.
Don't look at it. Shut your eyes, Marion. Don't look at it no matter what happens.
She takes this advice to heart while the baddies start to drop like flies. There are also a few nightmare-inducing moments, with the likes of Tote and Belloc getting the worst of it.
Don't look, Marion! Keep your eyes shut!
It appears that Jones's advice isn't superstition after all, given the gruesome aftermath. Considering the artifact's true power, it's probably best that it ends up locked away in storage. Number 9. Taping the gun to his back. Die Hard. John McClane might just be having the worst Christmas Eve ever in this action movie classic.
Jesus.
Hi, honey.
This doesn't distract him from coming up with a few smart ideas, the latter of which includes one that saves his and his wife's life. Hans Gruber looks like he has it all figured out and McClane unarmed, but there's a hidden sidearm taped to his enemy's back. The detective's quick draw skills come in handy as he gives Gruber one last surprise. Lucky for this hero, he has enough brains to match his physical skills. This all leads to a final confrontation that spells the end for the villain's plans.
Happy trails, Hans.
Number 8. Using the Infinity Stones against Thanos. Avengers Endgame. By the end of Avengers Infinity War, the remaining heroes are left hopeless after Thanos snaps their friends away.
You should have gone for the head.
The sequel finds the survivors in need of a plan. They eventually settle on a complex operation involving time travel, hoping to harness all of the Infinity Stones for themselves.
I have no idea, man. We're talking about time travel here. Either it's all a joke or none of it is. We're good.
This all leads them to a climactic battle with the imposing villain. With a little help from almost everyone, the Avengers are able to exact their revenge on their nemesis. Tony Stark puts all the stones back together and snaps the purple guy out of existence.
And I am Iron Man.
It might have taken an intergalactic army and a few sacrifices, but it was well worth it. Number 7. Using deadly diseases as camouflage. World War Z. In the last section of the zombie film, UN investigator Jerry Lane survives a plane crash and makes his way to an important research facility.
But even if you're right, I mean, infecting the populace with a lethal illness is not exactly a cure.
It's not a cure. It's camouflage.
He eventually convinces the other survivors to help him fight his way to a room containing pathogens. Injecting yourself with one might make the zombies avoid you, or maybe it'll all be for nothing. Lane finally injects himself and tests out the theory on a nearby walker. Thankfully for him, the undead don't go after anyone who's considered unfit for consumption. The hero then walks freely down the hallway as a horde runs right by him. Avoiding the usual genre cliches, this movie finds a new and successful way to avoid getting bitten. Number 6. Perseus uses Medusa's head to defeat the Kraken. Clash of the Titans. Whether you're talking about the original film or the remake, Clash of the Titans features Perseus' journey to defeat the Kraken. This involves having to defeat Medusa in order to harness her head's special power. Once the hero obtains the deadly face, he confronts the monster in a thrilling climax. His plan works perfectly as he uses the head to turn the creature to stone. Rather than having to use a sword or even a massive army, the protagonist takes down Hades' not-so-secret weapon in an impressive takedown. This mythical adventure wouldn't be complete without this stroke of godlike genius. Number 5. Building an Iron Man suit to escape captivity. Iron Man. After getting ambushed and captured by the 10 Rings group, Tony Stark doesn't know if he'll survive in Afghanistan. He's then given access to vital materials in order to make a missile for the enemy.
It says they have everything you need to build the Jericho missile.
Choosing to build a suit of armor instead, Stark creates his own escape plan.
This is our ticket out of here.
What is it?
Flatten them out and look.
The giant suit may be rudimentary, but it's definitely effective against armed guards. It also serves as a prototype for the iconic red suit. Most importantly, Stark uses the technology to get out of there with his life. The entire sequence reveals the character's physical and mental prowess under pressure.
My turn.
Number 4. Danny stopping his snow footprint trail. The Shining. Imagine being trapped at a remote hotel with Jack Nicholson chasing you around a maze. If your name is Danny Torrance, you need to think fast in order to avoid your axe-wielding father. Danny! Luckily, the son is wise beyond his years, and decides to backtrack through his own footprints. This creates the effect that his trail is stopped. While Jack keeps wandering aimlessly, his smarter child hides and makes his way back to safety. It's the kind of choice that even adults wouldn't be able to come with in the nick of time. If you ever find yourself in the same situation, remember to put on some warm clothes and do the same as the younger Torrance does. Number 3. Calling the dog the wrong name. Terminator 2: Judgment Day. In this action-packed sequel, John Connor gets help from the T-800 in surviving an attack from the T-1000. The young hero later tries to call and check up on his foster parents.
Something's wrong. She's never this nice.
John? Where are you?
Arnold Schwarzenegger's Cyborg then has a clever idea, mimicking Connor's voice and asking for the dog with the wrong name. Always one step ahead, the Allied machine uses this as a test to see if the mother is real. This baits the evil machine into revealing itself as the liquid metal villain.
What's the dog's name?
Max. Hey, Janelle. What's wrong with Wolfie? I can hear him barking. Is he okay?
Wolfie's fine, honey. Wolfie's just fine.
It's a straightforward and successful idea that goes underappreciated in a film of shootouts and chases.
Your foster parents are dead.
Number 2. Andy's Scheme. The Shawshank Redemption. After going to jail for many years, Andy Dufresne has more than enough time to come up with an amazing plan. He works his way into becoming the prison's accountant and develops a complex money laundering scheme for the warden. Little do the authorities know his true motivations, to take all the cash for himself after he escapes. He also chips away at his cell until he can properly tunnel his way to freedom. The dramatic exit happens without anyone the wiser, with even Dufresne's closest friends failing to realize it. It's such an effective operation that it sets up one of the most satisfying endings in cinematic history.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Taking out the competition, The Godfather. Michael Corleone might be more of an anti-hero, but he's definitely smart about this climactic act in The Godfather.
After the baptism, I've decided to be godfather to Connie's baby.
He assumes control of the family and decides to take out all of his rivals in one fell swoop. During his son's baptism, Corleone orders his associates to go around town and assassinate the other leaders. All of it happens simultaneously as the new Don enjoys a quiet ceremony with his loved ones. It might be among the more ruthless decisions in any movie, but the choice to take out everybody comes as a strategic, morbid, and ingenious one. Do we forget any wise decisions from movie characters? Let us know in the comments below.
He never hurt anybody.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.